Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the 9 p.m. news telecast of the prestigious channel of Sri Lanka. I'm Charita Vinipurarachi and let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news. Devotees are requested not to come to Candi for the veneration of the sacred tooth relic until further notice. All schools will be closed on the 5th and 6th of May due to local government elections. Postal voting starts. Saturday has been declared as a National Day of Mourning in favor of the funeral of His Holiness Pope Francis. The USA commends Sri Lanka's move taken over the trade tariff issue. A significant growth in the export sector in the first quarter of this year. Indian Prime Minister strictly warns the terrorists. On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top local story. The District Secretary of Candi, Indika Udavatta, requests the devotees not to visit Candi for the veneration of the sacred tooth relic until further notification due to the increase in the number of devotees arriving at Candi. The organizing board of the sacred veneration of tooth relic has made this request at a media briefing held today. Governor of the Central Province, Professor Soratabekon, said that it has been decided to curtail the number of people attending to venerate the sacred tooth relic. Discussions were also held regarding the provision of drinking water, food and sanitation along with other facilities to the public who are visiting Candi. Security forces have initiated steps to avoid congestion during this period. The extension of the exposition of the sacred tooth relic is also being considered.
ආරක්ෂකංශවලින් අලුතෙන් ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගත්තා. ඒම යුද හමුදාවේ සහභාගීත්වය වැඩි කරන්න තීරණය කළා. දළදා දැක්මේ කාලය දීර්ඝ කිරීම කරත් අපි යම්කිසි තීරණයකට ආවා. ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොලිසිය
District Secretary of Candi, Indika Udavatta, says that Sri Lanka Police, 3 armed forces, provincial councils, municipal councils and the presidential secretariats have made arrangements to provide maximum arrangements to the devotees.
මහනුවර නගරයට පැමිණීමේ වලකින් කියලා ඉල්ලා සිටින කැමැති. කුරුණෑගල ප්‍රදේශයෙන් එන
DIG Lalit Pathirana said that people visiting from Kurunegala area will park the buses at Valiboke area of Mavatakama Police Division, while buses from Matale will be parked at Aluvihara area. Buses from Mahiyangade will be parked at Hasalaka area. Buses arriving from Haguranketa area will be parking at Mailapitiya, while buses from Gampula will be parked at Valigal Ude area. Buses from Kegol will be parked at Mavanal area, and all basic facilities will be provided by the relevant district secretariat officers and municipal councils. All arrangements are now in place for this purpose. Consultant Community Medical Officer Suranga Fernando said that the drinking water along with the sanitary facilities will be provided along with the supply of food. The state and the private sectors are cooperating in this effort, and facilities will be enhanced with the increase in the number of visitors. In case the facilities were not to be provided as expected, there will be the risk of problems pertaining to hygiene.
අපි දැනට තියෙන හොඳ පාලනය අපෙන් ගිලිහෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් ඒ අන්ත ජනතාවගෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටින්නේ මේ දවස් දෙක තුල ආවොත් එහෙම ඕගොල්ලන්ටත් ඒ අවදානම ගන්න වෙයි.
The director of the Candi National Hospital described to media the facilities provided by the hospital for the convenience of the devotees attending the veneration of the sacred tooth relic. And on the same note, the Candi city area faces a severe problem of disposing garbage and properly maintaining the environment in line with the veneration of the sacred tooth relic. Both the state sector and many volunteer organizations are effectively and efficiently inactive to solve the problem, and accordingly a mission of Clean Sri Lanka was launched today to face this problem. The clean program was carried out centering the 3 access roads to the Temple of the Tooth and the surrounding area. Clean Sri Lanka Secretariat and volunteer groups of youth and adults in the area participated in this program. It has been organized with an awareness program to have attitudinal changes within the people on properly disposing garbage. And meanwhile, our correspondent says that Muslim people in the Candi area also extend support to provide common amenities to the Buddhist devotees who come for the veneration of the sacred tooth relic. Candi City Muslim Traders Association, Jamiatullah Ulama Organization and Candi Intellectuals Organization and Association have jointly provided food items to the devotees. They also have come forward to provide sanitary facilities for the Buddhist devotees from the mosques in the Candi area. Buddhist devotees who come to Candi from faraway areas have expressed their commendation for this good effort. And meanwhile, postal voting in the local government elections commenced at 7 a.m. today. According to the Elections Commission, this facility will be available tomorrow on the 28th and 29th of this month. Postal voters of government institutions, 3 armed forces, police, schools, corporations and statutory boards and other institutions will be able to cast their votes during these 4 days. The Election Commissioner added that 648,495 are eligible for postal voting. Commissioner General of Elections Saman Sriratnayaka said that it is very easy to cast votes in the postal voting since the voters will have only to mark a cross in the empty cage in front of the desired political party. A QR code indicating as to who the candidates in the respective local government authority areas of the voters has been provided in the document sent to them. By scanning the code, voters can come to know all the political parties, candidates contesting from the concerned local government area. It has been requested to be careful when casting postal votes at one's place of service. Meanwhile, the Sri Lankan government has declared Saturday, April 26th, a national day of mourning to coincide with the funeral of His Holiness Pope Francis in the city of Vatican. Pope Francis' coffin will be sealed during a liturgical rite held in St. Peter's Basilica on Friday, April 25th at 8 p.m.
Pope Francis' coffin will be sealed during a liturgical rite held in St. Peter's Basilica on Friday, April 25th, 8 p.m. Cardinal Kevin Farrell Camerlengo of the Holy Roman Church will preside at the rite of sealing of the coffin of the late Pope Francis ahead of the papal funeral on Saturday morning. The liturgical rite will be attended by several cardinals and Holy See officials. It will mark the end of public view in St. Peter's Basilica, which has seen tens of people pay their respect to the late Pope as his mortal remains lie in state. Over 50,000 people have filed past the altar of the confession in the 24 hours since the Vatican Basilica opened to the faithful yesterday morning. Pope Francis' funeral mass will take place on Saturday, April 26th at 10 a.m. in St. Peter's Square. The Archbishop of Colombo, Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit, has paid his last respect to His Holiness Pope Francis. Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit is currently at the Vatican City attending the funeral of the late Pope Francis. The Sri Lankan government has declared Saturday, April 26th, a national day of mourning to coincide with the funeral of Pope Francis. President Anurakumara Dissanayake visited the Vatican embassy today, where he extended his condolences on the passing of His Holiness Pope Francis. Upon his arrival, the president was warmly received by Most Reverend Archbishop Brian Udegwe, the Apostolical Nuncio of the Vatican to Sri Lanka.
And meanwhile, nearly 300,000 devotees are still waiting in the Candi city for the veneration of the sacred tooth relic today for the Sabbath day as well. The veneration commences at 11 a.m. today and concluded by 5:30 p.m. And our staff reporter Asanka Dilakaratna reported that large crowds are waiting patiently amid the rainy weather this evening as well. By now, the queues have been extended to about 5 kilometers long from the Sri Lanka Malika premises at prison. Arrangements have already been made to provide devotees with food and other amenities. A major concern has arisen regarding the health condition of the devotees due to the exposure of varying weather condition. A number of medical centers have been set up and they are functioning to provide the devotees the maximum assistance. Our correspondent reports that Candi city and adjoining areas are crowded with a large number of devotees. Councils to provide food to the devotees have been set up, while arrangements are also in place to provide food to the devotees who have been lined up. And meanwhile, the Ministry of Education has declared the 5th of May a holiday for all schools due to the local government elections to be held on the 6th of May. The schools will reopen on the 7th of May. The Ministry of Education has announced that 5th of May has been declared as a holiday for all schools due to the local government elections to be held on the 6th of May. The schools may reopen on the 7th of May, and the announcement issued by the Ministry of Education says that the decision has been taken since some schools are used as polling centres. And also, according to the Export Development Board, an exceptional increase has been recorded in the export sector of Sri Lanka. During the first quarter of 2025, the service exports also have gone up by 10.88%. The Export Development Board says that the total export income has increased to $4,212.13 million. The record has an increase of 5.87% compared to the same period of last year. During last March this year, the total export income has been increased to $1,507.9 million, including both commercial goods and services sector. Chairman of the Export Development Board, Mangala Vijayasinghe, said that it has been possible to reach an export income beyond the said that it has been able to reach an export income for $4,200 million, the highest recorded so far in the history, quarterly from January to March. This year, an income of $19 billion is expected. Expectation is to increase the export earnings from the second quarter onwards and reach the target for the year during the third and the fourth quarters as expected during this year. A positive and an excellent gap has also been created in Sri Lanka in the export earnings, and it is also expected that an increased amount of investments will reach Sri Lanka and the export earnings in the next 5 years will cross $36 billion. Moving ahead with more local stories, the Secretary to the President, Dr. Nandika Sanat Kumanayaka, stated that the government has taken a policy decision to continue school nutrition program without any interruption. This program aimed at reducing anemia among school children, which has been implemented with the assistance of the World Food Programme. The school meal program, aligned with the government's initiative to provide nutritious lunch to primary school students in districts identified as having high levels of malnutrition, specifically targets the reduction of iron deficiency among the school children. The government has allocated Rs 32 billion for the program for the current year. A pilot project is currently being implemented in 4 selected districts based on formal health and nutritional study assessing the outcomes of the pilot project. There are plans to expand the program island-wide. The study aims to determine the extent to which iron deficiency among school children can be reduced through this initiative. As a part of this program, fortified rice enriched with iron and folic acid will be included in the school meals to specifically address anemia among students. The World Food Programme, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Gateway Foundation and the Pathfinder Foundation have pledged their continued support for these efforts. And meanwhile, Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that a tangible reduction in the prices of pharmaceuticals will be implemented in the near future. In a public rally held at Kalutara, he revealed that the gazette notification in this regard has already been signed. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jyothisa pointed out that the prices of pharmaceuticals in this country will be reduced by a considerable margin. A gazette notification to this effect has already been signed and issued indicating the concerned rice formula. Discussions have been held with pharmaceutical companies in this regard, and people will come to know that the reduced prices of the medicines shortly. And meanwhile, a rally organised by the Samagi Janabalavegi was held at the Ambalanguda area under the leadership of the leader of the opposition, Sajith Premadasa. Moving ahead with more local stories, the Prime Minister Dr. Haruri Amarasuri says that the period in which the politicians, state officials and principals exploited parents in school admissions is now over. The Prime Minister states that if any injustice occurs in school admissions, parents should inform the ministry. The Premier made these remarks at a meeting held at Dorangoda area in Kalutara yesterday. Prime Minister Dr. Haruri Amarasuri said that if any injustice occurs in school admissions, public can complain to the ministry, reiterated that no one gets special favour from the government. The Prime Minister stated that in an area when politicians, public officials and principals exploited their influence to gain unfair advantages in enrolling children into school has come to an end. She pointed out that when the government worked with the consensus to correct the society, the public came forward and support the government endeavour. She said that the transformation that is the national people's power hoped for. Stay tuned with more local stories after this break.
Prima Kottumi, hot and spicy Nava.
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Welcome back. More local stories, and the President Anur Kumar Dissanayake says that the government has paid attention to remove taxes in the fisheries sector. He made this observation addressing a rally at Puttalam today. The aim of the rally was to consolidate the victory of National People's Power during the local government elections. The rally held under the theme Daniyatai Gama Apatai was attended by a large gathering. President Anur Kumar Dissanayake said that the people of this country expected a government without communal discriminations, and the NPP government has been able to fulfill it. Racism will not be allowed to raise its head again. New laws will be formulated if the existing laws are insufficient to defeat racism. Steps will also be taken to establish a strong health sector, and an amount of 182 million rupees has been allocated to renovate the Chilla hospital during this year. There is a large vegetable plantation in Kalpiti area which faced inundation during rainy season and crop damages due to it. Protection has also been provided in this area, where a huge amount of money is being spent for paddy and vegetable farmers for the purchase of pesticides and insecticides. Programs have been initiated to provide pesticides to the farmers at a fair price by Sipetco. The President added that the government has already provided fuel subsidies to the fisheries industry, and taxes in this sector will also be removed. Plans will be formulated to develop the country through the fisheries industry. The President pointed out that in the past we were government which took bribes, and in order to conduct business, the parliamentarian of the area had to be bribed. The culture has been ended. The lands belonging to the farmers in Anavadu area have been taken over by force by preparing illegal deeds. Investigations will be carried out in respect of all of these wrong deeds, and wrongdoers will be punished accordingly, and the lands be returned to their rightful owners. Governments which fulfill the expectation of the public is now in power, and the journey has to be strengthened during the forthcoming local government elections by making the National People's Power victorious. And also, a rally organized by Samagi Janabalavegi was held at Ambalanguda area under the leadership of the leader of the opposition, Sajith Premadasa. The rally was organised to ensure the victory of candidates contesting from the Samagi Chanabalavege during the forthcoming local government elections. The leader of the opposition, Sajith Premadasa, said that the government talked a system change, but only one change has come in the form of largest number of lies in the democratic history of the country. Samagi Chanabalavege under no circumstance will try to come into power by giving false promises. The party will try to win the hearts of the people by enlightening them with the truth and reality that wins always. And also a people's rally organised by the Sri Lanka Podujana Parabana was held yesterday at Mathala area with the participation of the national organizer of the party, Namal Rajapaksa. The rally was organised to consolidate the victory of candidates contesting from the SLPP in the forthcoming local government elections. The national organizer of SLPP, Namal Rajapaksa, said that with the party, a political force of the new generation will be crafted and it can be expressed to the public with responsibility. The party will reduce and the organizers, parliamentarians, presidents of the party and majority of the new provincial council members also from the SLPP. In the forthcoming local government elections, also the party will create a new generation. The journey to transform the motherland into the mother of Asia will commence on the 6th of May under a youthful leadership during the forthcoming general elections. On your more local stories, the Deputy Minister of Economic Development, Dr. Anil Jayanta, says that the preliminary talks of the fourth review of the IMF is being held in Washington with the participation of Sri Lanka's representatives. At a media briefing held today, the Deputy Minister said upon completion of the fourth review, the staff will agreement can be made without any delay. Deputy Minister of Economic Development Dr. Anil Jayanta said that the preliminary discussions over the fourth review are being held at highly successful level. The Washington talks will lead to positive end. Since the talks are successful, the government is confident of having the staff level arrangements within this week itself. He also expressed views regarding the discussions made by the government over the new US trade tariffs. The minister said that the government has made arrangements to have talks with the chief and other officials of the US state representatives separately. In these talks, the US officials have expressed their satisfaction towards the situation in Sri Lanka. They are also satisfied with the efficiency of Sri Lankan diplomatic activities. The Sri Lanka-India Media Friendship Association is set to host the Sri Lanka's first ever international media festival that commences tomorrow. The event will be together journalists, editors, content creators and a host of media personalities from both India and Sri Lanka. The head of organizing committee of the event, Santosh Benton, told that Rupavahini that the event marks a significant milestone in advancing the media landscape in the country.
We are going to have Media Fest in Sri Lanka tomorrow, April 25th evening, and through the day on April 26th at the Taj Samudra, Colombo. Really excited about having Media Fest in Sri Lanka. It's basically Slimfa as an organization is meant to foster closer engagement between Sri Lankan media and Indian media. And to that extent, the Media Fest is going to be the event, the first time such an event of this nature has been done in Sri Lanka, where journalists from both countries come together, exchange views, exchange ideas and thoughts related to the evolving nature of media in South Asia. The theme of Media Fest is navigating the media landscape together, and I think the intent really is to explore some very important topics such as AI in journalism, mobile journalism, topics such as misinformation and disinformation, have conversations about media monetization. All of these topics are very important from a media perspective, and we are hoping that through the exchange of ideas between Indian and Sri Lankan media people, we will have a fair amount of interesting thoughts, ideas generated from the sessions happening on Friday and on Saturday. So we are really looking forward to the Media Fest, and we are hoping that the Media Fest in Sri Lanka is a success. And if it is a success, and I'm sure it will be, then we are hoping that as part of Sri Lanka-India Media Friendship Association, we can have the Media Fest as an annual event where Indian and Sri Lankan media people can engage and exchange ideas and thoughts on the evolving nature of media in the two countries.
The chairman of the BCC Lanka Limited Prasanka Indrajit Perera says the company has been made profitable at present. It was scheduled to close down during the past period. This company was closed down in several times, identified as a loss-making entity. It was also totally disclosed and closed in 2006 as a loss-making institute, and it was reopened later, deploying a limited number of staff during the past period. It was originally planned to be restructured. However, it has become a profit-making entity within a very short period of time.
සියයට සියයක් ස්වාභාවික පිරිසිදු කිරීමේ ක්‍රමවේදයක් තියෙනවා. ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි අපිට ටැංකි තියෙනවා. කොළඹ කර්මාන්ත ශාලාවේ සහ වතුපිටිය.
An Indian passenger has been arrested today with a stock of Kush narcotics worth about 53 million rupees in his possession at the Katunayake Bandaranaike International Airport this morning. Officials of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit made this arrest. He had attempted to bring the stock of narcotics through the Green Avenue of the airport. He has been identified as a 21-year-old student of an Indian university. He has come to the Katunayake airport this morning from Bangkok in Thailand. 5 kilos and 333 grams of Kush were discarded, concealed in several biscuit packets. And that's it on tonight's local stories. Stay tuned with international news after this break.
Prima Kottumi hot and spicy නව වසරක් වේවා.
Welcome back with international stories. An Indian team participated. My apologies. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday vowed to pursue the attackers to the ends of earth during a speech in the northeastern state of Bihar.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi stated that every effort will be made to ensure justice is achieved. India accused Pakistan of supporting terrorist groups in the region after a little-known militant group named the Resistance Front claimed responsibility for the attack. Pakistan has denied any involvement. The main land border crossing between the two countries would be shut with immediate effect, and New Delhi would suspend a water treaty that allows for sharing the waters of the Indus river system between the two countries. Furthermore, Pakistani nationals would be barred from travelling to India under the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation Visa Exception Program, and that Pakistanis using the visas have 48 hours to leave the country.
I say to the whole world, India will identify, track and punish every terrorist and their backers. We will pursue them to the ends of the earth.
Welcome back with the sports update. And the Indian team participated in the triangular women's cricket tournament arrived at the island last night. The tournament will be played among Sri Lanka, India and South Africa. The inaugural match of the tournament will be played at the R. Premadasa Stadium on the 27th of this month between Sri Lanka and India. In the meantime, the South Africa women's cricket team reached the island yesterday in the morning. The match between India and South Africa is scheduled on the 29th of this month, and the match between Sri Lanka and South Africa will be played on the 1st of May. And that's it on tonight's local stories and international stories along with the foreign stories. Stay tuned with international news. Stay tomorrow as well for the very same time. I'm Charita signing off. Good night.